Scout, how is your day going aside from having talked to the elitist media?
Oh, it's going great. I love your Cheap Trick shirt.
Yeah, well, I was going to delve into the music portion of your career after we plug the
Yeah.
new movie, Apache Junction. Is that okay with you?
Yes, that's perfectly fine, of course.
Okay, so I had the pleasure of speaking with your co-star Stuart a couple days ago, and from what I understand, the movie was started before the pandemic and it was finished during the pandemic. Were you on set for both the start and the end of it?
Yes, I was. Yes, we started in Santa Fe and we were filming for about a couple of weeks, and the COVID was being talked about, but nobody knew how serious it was, and it kind of we were all watching the news after we would get off set or right before set just to kind of figure out what was happening in the world, because we were very isolated in our own little western town, and then it became a big pandemic and we got shut down and we had to come back months and months and months later, to a whole completely new location because they had done a makeover on the last location. So we had to like find matching like a western town, which was in Joshua Tree. But it was kind of like a reunion when we came back, and we also survived the pandemic together. you know?
You just answered a few things for me, which was that did you start and finish it in the same place? You
Okay.
just answered that. So
Yeah.
that's a very interesting thing of having, the ill-fated people look different after a couple of months of COVID per se, but the set also changed per se. Now, COVID aside, was it an easy film for you to make?
I think it was. I think it was a really easy film. I mean, there's a lot of like things involved. Like the costumes weren't so easy. They were a little stressful for me because I'm not used to having someone help me get dressed in the morning. And by that I mean like 5 layers underneath before my top layers, which made it very difficult to get on horseback and like have to like operate, a big animal. But it was just so fun. Everybody was so great. I mean, mostly it was a set of men, so I get along with guys anyway. So it was just really really cool set.
I was asking Stuart about training for his accent because obviously he's doing a total 180 per se.
Yeah.
No, it's not that much different, but was a lot of character study required for you for this role?
I think because like I was such a weird kid, and I just like, I've started when I was really young. So for
Yeah.
some reason, like period pieces I was so into period pieces when I was a kid. So I just like kind of knew that mannerism. So it wasn't really a hard thing to get into. Um, yeah, not for me particularly, but it was really fun to watch everybody get into their characters. Everyone's different. Some people are more method than others. I'm kind of a goof off until they yell action, and then getting to character, and then I'm right out of it as soon as they all cut.
It's great to see, though, you've been able to escape the pigeonholing of being the horror person. Was
Yes.
that something that you had to work hard to do?
Really hard. But I mean, I'm grateful. Honestly, I'm very grateful for horror movies. I mean, Halloween was a huge, huge thing for me, and the fan base in horror. There is nothing like this fan base. They are
Right.
such dedicated fans, honestly. And I know that my fans will watch this because they're just so dedicated to who those actors are, their favorite actors. But yeah, I'll always be, I'll always have this genre to be able to make movies in. But it's really nice to be able to do other things and not just horror.
Yeah, it seems to me the 3 toughest fan bases to kind of get around. And by get around, I mean they're watching everything that you do. It's kind of horror, wrestling, and K-pop. Am I missing one with that? Is it
Oh,
Star Wars?
okay. Wrestling. I guess, yeah, that big fan base. I've never gotten into wrestling, but yeah, you're right. You're totally right.
So as we talked about at the top there, music, you play a few instruments. You did make an album a bunch of years ago, but I also read that you look at music as just like a side fun hobby thing. Do you have any musical endeavors coming up though?
It was interesting because when I was a kid, I did record a record, but it was more of like, my parents trying to figure out, if I was going to go the Disney route, you know? Being a singer wasn't really like anything that I wanted to do. I'm a drummer personally. So I always wanted to start like a rock and roll band, would have been really fun to do. But I did get the privilege of playing Lita Ford in the Runaways. So then I had to learn guitar. Originally, I was cast as the bass player, so I learned the bass, but then I had to learn guitar because they cast me as Lita, and that was really hard. But I don't know, you know, it might be kind of interesting. I'm sure I'll bounce at it at some point. Honestly, like if a movie calls for it or something like that, but I don't think I'll be starting a rock band anytime soon.
You led me further to it. Lita Ford, playing Lita Ford. A lot of research, or did you know a lot before you got the role?
Well, okay, this is what happened. What happened was I originally auditioned for Joan Jett, and Kristen Stewart got that role. And I wanted to do the drummer because I played drums, and they cast someone else. And so they had me come in and do a test with Kristen to be the bass player. So we were rehearsing for 2 weeks straight, and I was the bass player. I had to learn bass. I don't know. Move very much on stage. So when we got done with rehearsal one day, and Joan Jett was there, and we were just kind of rocking out, like I wasn't in character, and I was like swinging my hair around, and I remember Joan's eyes just went big, and they were having trouble finding their Lita Ford, and she came up to me and she was like, "You play like Lita," and I was like, "Oh, well, thank you." And then the producers came up to me, they're like, "Do you want to play Lita?" And I like didn't know how to play guitar. I was like, we're like 2 or 4 days from filming. So it was such an honor. But yeah, then I had to do my research pretty fast to like figure out how Lita performs. But she's so similar to me. So I was like, this is easy.
The small world 2 degrees kind of thing is, so I live in a town called Long Beach, New York.
Oh, okay.
And Joan Jett lives on this block.
Oh.
You are from Long Beach, California.
Did you yes.
Did you? Oh, so you were just born there. You didn't grow up there?
Yeah, I think my mom was like, "You gotta stop at this hospital." Yeah, I was just a passing by. My mom was a water baby, so I think they were down there, and it was like Mayday, Mayday. So I was born in Long Beach.
Got it. So you grew up outside of Long Beach. I was super curious about your Long Beach because I was able to take a press trip there a couple of years ago. Okay. And when you walk around that Long Beach, your origins Long Beach, they go, yeah, this movie was filmed there. La La Land was filmed there. Batman Forever was there. CSI Miami was there.
Oh, yeah.
I was wondering if you actually ever filmed anything in Long Beach, California.
I have never filmed anything in Long Beach, but I often go to the Queen Mary because they host a lot of spooky things on that. So I'm often invited to go to those kind of things. And I almost just filmed on the Queen Mary, but it didn't work out. But so much films in Long Beach. I think because it's like, I don't know, there's something kind of like spooky about Long Beach. I don't know. Every time I go there, like it seems to be like overrun by fog, like always 24/7.
Fair assessment. Well, back to you here, and not any Long Beach in New York or California or anywhere else here. When I look at your IMDb page, you either had the most busy 2021 humanly possible with a really busy 2022, or you made a lot of stuff that took a while to come out. Which one is it?
I worked all of the pandemic. It was weird. Everybody stopped working, and then I like went into full gear. It was nuts. I've just been movie after movie after movie after movie after movie, and I'm so honored to be able to film all this stuff during that time.
Wow. Okay. Usually, as I said, a lot of the people I'll be interviewing them and say, when did you finish the movie? And they go 2017, and you find out it was a 3 or 4 year leg. Yeah. But you worked nonstop during it. Some of the other people I speak to that work nonstop, you ask them about the movies and they don't remember anything. In other words, they make so many movies. Somebody like Eric Roberts, per se, makes so many movies.
Oh, yeah. I just saw Eric not too long ago.
In your case, do you remember everything, or do you kind of do a role, immerse yourself, and then you're able to move on?
I guess I am like that, but I do remember them, my movies. I mean, I chose them for a reason, you know.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's like it's like me when I do cons. I never know where the hell I am because I'm like it's like a new city all the time. I'm like, have I been to that place? Have I gone there? But yeah, no, I do. Especially like I remember I just got done, well, not just, but I just did a movie, The Chariot, with John Malkovich and Rose Salazar and Thomas Mann. And I mean, that was just like such a unique experience. I'll like forever remember that. But yeah, I mean, they kind of blend in together, but obviously I'll remember them because they were such a, good experience, each one of them.
Fair. Do you know which movie is next coming out after Apache Junction, or no idea?
Oh my God, I think I have a movie coming out, The Intrusion. It's coming out in November. I think on demand, and then The Chariot that I was just talking about just got picked up by Saban, which is releasing Apache Junction. And then I'm about to go do an HBO show, and then The Hollow with Mekhi Phifer, which I'm so excited to work with him.
Wow. The thing that cracks me up on your IMDb page is the project at the top says untitled sequel film. As in, we couldn't figure out based on the role what it's a sequel of.
I know. Honestly, so what's so crazy about IMDb? Anybody can add you as attached. Often some people will come up to me and be like, "Oh, you're attached to this movie." And I'm like, "What movie? What are you talking about?" So sometimes it's like tricky on that on IMDb. Sometimes I'm like, I don't know.
Well, 3 quick questions and then you're free. And the first one is, what's a TV show that we should be watching if we need a new show to start?
Ooh, what's a new TV show?
It's okay if it's 2 years old, 3 years old, and you just discovered it.
Well, I like Fear Street. I binge watch that. I know it's like a 3 limited series. Obviously, The Bachelor is something that me and my friends and my boyfriend watch. We're on a league right now. We're kind of like a football league, but for Bachelor. It's kind of embarrassing, but not, because I really love it. And then I'm really excited about, and I'm gonna make my boyfriend actually binge watch it, is Dexter, because the new one is coming out.
Good picks. Next thing, you complimented the Cheap Trick shirt at the beginning. Who's your favorite band or artist of all time? Do you have one?
Ooh, of all time? Okay,
Yeah.
All time would have to be Cher. I love her. I've loved her since I was a little girl. Or obviously, Rob Zombie. I listen to his shit all the time. And then right now, I'm about to go to the Red Rocks and see Tyler Childers. You probably don't know who that is.
Oh, I know.
Oh, you do know? Okay, amazing. Awesome. Yeah.
You gotta kind of read stuff and know stuff if you want to do interviews. So
Exactly.
Cher, Rob Zombie, Tyler Childers, Fear Street, Bachelor. I guess nothing is surprising with you. And then the last question, Scout. Usually I ask people any last words for the kids, and it's a stock question for them to go like, brush your teeth, do your homework, have fun, kids. In your case, successful child star transition without public incidents we know about. So any last words for the kids?
Honestly, follow your dreams, man, and work really, really hard. Don't let those doors that close in front of you stop you from achieving your goals.
Well said. Thank you so much for your time. Looking forward to what's next, even if it is an untitled sequel film.
Yes. Awesome.
Thanks, Scout. Take care.
Bye.
Paltrocast.